Chosen one, listen carefully. Something ancient has awakened in your spirit, and you can feel it even if you cannot yet explain it. There is a stirring inside you that has no natural source. It is not imagination. It is not emotion. It is not wishful thinking. It is a confirmation. God has touched the deep memory of your spirit, and heaven has revealed your true identity. You did not come from ordinary soil. You did not rise from a forgotten lineage. You were shaped by royal breath. You carry a bloodline that was never meant to blend with the common paths of this world. Entire generations have been waiting for the moment when you would finally discover who you are. This realization is not surprising to your soul. It feels familiar. It feels like something you always sensed but never had the language for. A quiet knowing that whispered to you in childhood. A strange pull you felt growing up. A feeling that your life was different even when everything around you tried to convince you otherwise. God has confirmed it now. You are the true descendant of a royal bloodline, a line that did not begin with earthly kings, but with spiritual inheritance. A line guarded, a line protected, a line targeted by darkness because of its power. There has always been something about you that did not fit the patterns of the people around you. You tried to be like them. You tried to think like them. You tried to blend in, but your spirit refused to shrink into a smaller identity. Something inside you pushed against the limits others tried to place on your life. That something was your lineage speaking. Child of God, you were never meant to be hidden in ordinary crowds. You were placed among them only for a season, so that when your unveiling came, it would disrupt everything that tried to keep you small. You carry a royal marking in your soul that darkness recognized even before you understood it. That is why life has never been easy for you. That is why your battles were heavier. That is why you were targeted early. Royal blood invites spiritual warfare, even before the vessel learns to stand upright. The prophetic message is clear. God is not introducing you to a new identity. He is reminding you of an old one, a true one, a bloodline identity that your spirit has carried since the beginning. This is why you walk with an inner authority you never learned. You speak with insight you never studied. You endure storms that would have broken others. You rise again and again with a strength that confuses everyone around you. This is not personality. This is heritage. Royal heritage. You were born into spiritual nobility, but the world tried to convince you that you were insignificant. They treated you like you were common because they could not see what heaven had placed within you. They misread your quietness as weakness. They misread your wounds as failures. They misread your isolation as rejection, but God never misread you. Heaven never misread you. The King who formed you has always known your identity. Now you are finally stepping into the truth of it. Chosen one, you carry the echo of ancient warriors, prophets, intercessors, gatekeepers, people who walked with God in ways this world has forgotten. Your lineage is not earthly. No earthly dynasty could explain the power within your soul. Your bloodline is spiritual. It comes from the ones who walked with fire, the ones who heard God in the wilderness, the ones who carried the secrets of heaven in their bones. This is why the enemy has tried to silence you your entire life. He recognized you long before you recognized yourself. He saw the marking on your spirit. He saw the authority in your voice. He saw the potential in your ascent. And he understood that if you ever discovered who you truly are, his influence over your destiny would shatter instantly. So he attacked early, he attacked harshly, he attacked consistently, he used rejection, he used betrayal, he used isolation, he used confusion, he used every weapon he could create, not because you were weak, but because you were royal and he knew it. The evidence was always there. You survived what others did not survive. You returned from wounds that should have ended you. You carried wisdom long before your age. You attracted battles that did not match your position. These were not accidents. These were markers, signs of a royal bloodline awakening under pressure. God allowed certain storms because only pressure can reveal the structure of a true heir. Only conflict can expose the character of royalty. Only darkness can reveal the strength of the light inside you. You have felt different your entire life because you are different. You have felt set apart because you are set apart. You have felt watched because heaven has been watching over you. You have felt resisted because royalty is always resisted. The revelation you receive in this moment is not new information to your spirit. It is confirmation. Your soul already knew. This is why your dreams carry weight. This is why your intuition is sharp. This is why your presence shifts the atmosphere. This is why people react to you in ways they cannot explain. Your spirit announces your lineage even when your words do not. God is now ready to awaken the full identity of who you are. The veil has lifted. The confirmation has been spoken. The inheritance is unfolding. Chosen one, you did not come from a broken line. You came through one. Your true origin is royal. Your true heritage is divine. And the time has come for heaven to reveal the full measure of what you carry. Prepare yourself. Everything is about to change. Chosen one, now that the revelation has been spoken over your spirit, heaven begins to pull back another layer of truth. Your identity as a royal descendant is not symbolic. It is not metaphor. It is spiritual reality. You carry the imprint of a kingdom that predates every earthly nation. A kingdom that existed before time formed its first boundary. A kingdom that cannot be shaken or dethroned. You feel this kingdom inside you. You sense it even when you do not understand it. You feel its weight in your chest. You feel its fire in your bones. You feel its authority in your words. You feel its pressure in your battles. This kingdom is home to your true bloodline. It is where your identity was crafted. It is where your destiny was sealed. Your lineage carries memory, ancient memory, spiritual memory. There are moments when you feel as though you have lived 1,000 lifetimes. Moments when you respond with wisdom you never learned. Moments when you walk through crises with a strength that surprises even you. This is not coincidence. This is inheritance. Royal spiritual inheritance. The authority you carry is older than your body, older than your name, older than the earthly family you were born into. Heaven did not choose you reluctantly. You were selected with purpose, set apart with intention, prepared long before your first breath, marked before you ever opened your eyes. This is why your story never aligned with ordinary paths. From the beginning, your journey carried a different rhythm, a different pattern, a different weight. You were not shaped by convenience. You were shaped by divine pressure. You were shaped by storms you never asked for. You were shaped by challenges that forced you to grow in silence. You were shaped by nights that felt endless. You were shaped by seasons where God hid you from the world but revealed you to yourself. Chosen one, there is a reason your spirit never settled for smallness. Something deep within you refused to shrink. Even when life pushed you down, something inside you refused to stay there. You rose again, not because you felt strong, but because your bloodline would not allow defeat. Royalty can feel weakness, but royalty cannot accept it as identity. That is why you rose. There were moments when you almost surrendered, moments when the weight felt too heavy, moments when your heart could not make sense of the pain, yet something inside you whispered, "Keep going." That whisper was not your own strength. It was your lineage calling you forward. It was ancient authority sounding through your spirit. It was the memory of where you came from breaking through the fog of your present struggle. Royal blood remembers the throne, even when the vessel has forgotten. Child of God, this is why you wrestled with purpose. You were not confused, you were awakening. You were hearing the faint echoes of a destiny that has been calling you since before your birth. A destiny that darkness recognized. A destiny darkness fought. A destiny darkness feared. There is a pattern in the lives of those with royal spiritual lineage. The enemy tries to destroy them early. He tries to break them before they mature. He tries to silence them before they find their voice. He tries to discourage them before they understand their worth. He tries to isolate them before they learn the power of their connection to God. You lived this pattern. You survived this pattern. You are now rising beyond this pattern. Every battle you faced was a clue to who you are. Every loss you endured was shaping the crown you now rise to carry. Every attack you endured was proof that you were marked. Proof that the enemy recognized the royalty in you long before you did. Chosen one, you must understand something crucial. Your lineage carries authority that scares darkness. Your spirit carries light that exposes deception. Your presence carries power that unsettles those who operate in spiritual confusion. This does not make you dangerous. It makes you divine. You are the continuation of a line of spiritual warriors who refuse to bow to darkness. You carry their strength in your bones. You also carry their wounds, their battles, their burdens, their weight. You feel things deeply because your lineage felt deeply. You see things clearly because your ancestors saw clearly. You discern quickly because your spirit has been sharpened by generations of prophetic bloodline memory. This is why you outgrew certain environments, not because you were better, but because your spirit required a higher altitude. This is why certain relationships dissolved, not because you were unlovable, but because your royal identity could not breathe in small spaces. This is why certain opportunities closed, not because you were unworthy, but because your destiny demanded a different path. Royalty cannot be raised in places that do not recognize its value. You were hidden for a reason. Heaven hid you. Heaven protected you. Heaven guarded your growth. Heaven shielded you from people who would have crushed your calling. Heaven placed boundaries around you that felt like isolation, but were actually protection. Isolation is the chamber where royal purpose is shaped. There is something else you must understand. Your bloodline is not only royal, it is prophetic. Those who carried your lineage in earlier generations walked with insight. They walked with visions. They walked with dreams that came from God. They carried the burden of hearing heaven before others could understand. This prophetic inheritance has rested in your spirit since childhood. You felt it. You sensed it. You knew things without learning them. You discerned motives without evidence. You felt spiritual shifts without explanation. You did not choose this ability, you inherited it. You are the living continuation of a spiritual dynasty, a dynasty formed by God, a dynasty protected through ages, a dynasty entrusted into your hands now. Chosen one, heaven is awakening your royal identity because the time has come for you to walk in the authority you were born with. No more shrinking, no more doubting, no more apologizing for your sensitivity, your strength, or your insight. Your royal lineage is rising, and the world is about to see the truth of who you are. Chosen one, now that heaven has confirmed your identity, something within you has begun to stir more intensely. You feel it in the quiet moments. You feel it when you awaken from sleep. You feel it when your spirit becomes still. Something ancient is rising inside you, as though a door has opened deep in your soul and light is pouring through it. This is the awakening of your royal bloodline. It has waited for this moment. Royal identity does not fully awaken at birth. It awakens at revelation. It awakens when your spirit is strong enough to carry what was always written about you. It awakens when God decides the time has come for you to rise in the authority you were born with. You are in that moment now. This awakening comes with signs. You begin to feel a strange distance from your old self. The things that once felt acceptable no longer feel aligned. The patterns that once felt normal now feel heavy. The conversations that once interested you now feel empty. This is not disconnection. This is elevation. Your spirit is moving upward, and everything that once held you at a lower level can no longer cling to you. The shift is spiritual. The shift is internal. The shift is irreversible. Child of God, you have always sensed that you were different, but this season is revealing the reason behind the difference. Your difference is not personality. Your difference is heritage. You carry a blueprint that others do not. You move with an instinct that others cannot understand. You carry wisdom that others cannot imitate. Your uniqueness has a source. It is your royal lineage speaking. As your true identity awakens, heaven begins to activate a deeper level of discernment inside you. You begin to see people more clearly. You see their intentions. You see their motives. You see the spirit behind their actions. You can feel deception before it manifests. You can sense danger before it approaches. You can detect shifts in the atmosphere that others walk past without noticing. This is the sight of royalty. Kings and queens in the spirit are not blind. They are aware. They perceive. They discern what others overlook. You have this gift. You always did. But now it is sharpening. This sharpening often comes with separation. It begins quietly. You wake up one day and notice that you no longer fit comfortably in the spaces you used to occupy. You feel a gentle pull away from certain people, even those you once cared for. You sense that the season with them has ended. You do not feel bitterness. You do not feel anger. You simply feel a shift, a release, a quiet knowing that something has completed its purpose. Chosen one, this separation is not rejection. It is protection. Royal identity cannot bloom in contaminated soil. Heaven is pruning the landscape around you so that your roots can deepen and your influence can expand. God removes what cannot honor your calling. He removes what drains your energy. He removes what limits your expansion. Everything leaving your life in this season is making room for your throne. Royal identity also awakens your awareness of spiritual warfare. You begin to recognize the patterns of the enemy more clearly. You see how he targeted your mind. You see how he used fear to silence you. You see how he sent people to distract you. You see how he tried to make you doubt your worth. But now you see the strategy, you see the attempt, you see the design, and because you see it, it can no longer control you. Awakening breaks deception. Awakening exposes spiritual traps. Awakening restores authority. The enemy fought your lineage because he feared your rise. He feared the moment you would step into clarity. He feared the moment your voice would gain weight. He feared the moment your spirit would remember what heaven spoke over you. You are in that moment now. This rise cannot be undone. This awakening cannot be reversed. Your identity is no longer hidden from you. Something else begins to happen when your royal bloodline awakens. You begin to feel a deeper pull toward purpose. You no longer tolerate living without direction. You no longer accept environments that suffocate your spirit. You no longer engage in conversations that lower your vibration. You no longer allow broken people to define your worth. You no longer allow confusion to guide your steps. Purpose begins to call you. It calls with urgency. It calls with conviction. It calls with clarity. You feel it in your bones. You feel it in your heartbeat. You feel it in every quiet moment when the world around you fades and your spirit stands still. Purpose becomes your compass. Purpose becomes your fire. Purpose becomes your anchor. Royalty does not wander. Royalty moves with intention. Royalty walks with direction. You are stepping into that season of intentional movement. As your identity awakens, your emotions shift too. You begin to release old wounds that once held power over you. You begin to forgive people who never apologized. You begin to detach from pain that once shaped your days. This is not weakness. This is liberation. Royal blood cannot carry chains. Your spirit is releasing every weight that was never part of your divine story. You may also notice that your intuition has grown sharper. You feel things before they happen. You sense shifts in circumstances. You hear the quiet voice of God more clearly. You notice signs that others overlook. You feel guided even when you cannot articulate how. This is the inheritance of your lineage. Prophetic awareness is woven into your bloodline. You were never meant to walk blindly. You were crafted to walk with insight. Chosen one, the awakening inside you is not random. It is timed. Heaven waited for a specific season in your life. A season when you had survived enough storms to stand firm. A season when you had healed enough wounds to see clearly. A season when you had matured enough spiritually to handle the mantle resting on you. That season is now. You are rising into the fullness of your identity. You are rising into the power of your lineage. You are rising into the destiny written for you before the foundations of the earth. The royal bloodline is awake, and nothing can silence it now. Chosen one, as your royal bloodline awakens, something else becomes clear. You begin to understand why your life has carried such intense battles. These battles were never random. They were never accidental. They were strategic. Darkness does not wage war against what is insignificant. Darkness fights what threatens its territory. And you, child of God, carry a threat, not because of your personality, but because of your identity. Royal blood has always been targeted. Royal authority has always been opposed. Royal destiny has always been resisted. The moment heaven spoke your name, the war against you began. This is why your childhood held wounds that left deep marks. This is why you faced emotional storms long before you had the tools to face them. This is why people turned against you without cause. This is why betrayal struck you at vulnerable moments. The enemy sensed the royal lineage inside you. He recognized the anointing woven into your future. He feared what you would become. You were not fighting for survival. You were fighting for identity. Each battle you endured was designed to make you forget who you are, to break your confidence, to distort your reflection, to bury your voice, to limit your reach. The enemy hoped that if he could weaken you early enough, you would never access the inheritance assigned to your name. But he failed, because here you stand. And the very fact that you are listening now is proof that the royal bloodline rising in your spirit has not been silenced. There is a reason your strength surprises people. There is a reason your resilience confuses those who thought you would fail. They saw the storm, they saw the pressure, they saw the hardship, they saw the heartbreak, yet you rose again and again, not because you felt strong, but because royalty does not break easily. It bends, it shakes, it trembles, but it does not break. You survived because heaven refused to let your lineage fall. Child of God, look back on your life for a moment. Notice the patterns, notice the repeated attacks. Notice how certain seasons seemed designed to crush your hope. Notice how relationships entered your life to drain you. Notice how certain people were sent not to love you, but to distract you from your calling. All of these were indicators of your identity. You were not under attack because you were weak. You were under attack because you were chosen. When royalty walks into the earth, darkness trembles. When heaven places a mantle of authority on a life, the enemy tries to interfere wherever he can. He cannot change what God has written, but he will attempt to delay it. He will attempt to divert it. He will attempt to confuse it, but he cannot erase it. What God assigns cannot be undone. What God seals cannot be broken. What God declares cannot be overturned. Your battles were evidence of your value, evidence of your potential, evidence of your purpose. You were not fighting for a crown, you were fighting because you already carried one. Chosen one, the greatest battles always fall upon those with the highest callings. This is why you felt misunderstood. This is why you felt isolated. This is why you felt set apart even in crowded rooms. Your spirit could not blend with the surroundings because your lineage would not let you shrink. You were being trained. You were being refined. You were being strengthened for a future that required depth, patience, and discernment. Your enemies in life were not always people. Some were spiritual forces that recognized your identity before you did. These forces saw the awakening coming. They saw the authority forming. They saw the inheritance rising. They saw the mantle resting on your life. And they tried everything to block the moment you are living in now. But God shielded you. God covered you. God preserved you. Even when you walked through dark seasons, a hand you could not see kept you from falling beyond recovery. A voice you could not hear kept pulling you back when you drifted too far. A power you could not name kept lifting you up when you had no strength left. That was the covering of your royal lineage. Heaven refused to let you be destroyed. Now, chosen one, the war shifts. It no longer targets your survival. It targets your awakening. It targets your clarity. It targets your confidence. Because once you know who you are, darkness loses its grip. Once you embrace your identity, every chain that held you begins to weaken. Once you stand in your authority, every attack loses its voice. Royal blood does not bow to fear. Royal blood does not surrender to confusion. Royal blood does not accept defeat. Royal blood stands, it endures, it rises. It carries a history of victories written by the hand of God Himself. This is why you feel a new strength inside you, a strength you did not learn, a strength that appears in moments you least expect, a strength that rises even when your emotions run low. That strength is heritage. That strength is lineage. That strength is the voice of your ancestors in the spirit, urging you forward. You are not walking alone. You are walking with the weight of a dynasty that refuses to allow you to fail. As your royal identity awakens, you begin to understand that everything you survived was preparation. Hard seasons shaped your discernment. Betrayals sharpened your intuition. Delays purified your motives. Losses strengthened your resilience. Isolation deepened your awareness. Each chapter of your life trained you to carry a mantle far greater than you realized. This is why you feel the shift now. It is not random. It is not emotional. It is not passing. It is the turning of the page in your destiny. Heaven has declared that it is time for your royal identity to be revealed. The war against you is shifting into the strength within you. Chosen one, your lineage is calling you to rise. The battles of your past no longer define you. They confirm you. They carved the vessel necessary to carry your destiny. They forged the authority resting on your life. They created the character required to stand in the position that heaven prepared for you. You are not stepping into royalty, you are returning to it. Chosen one, now that the truth of your royal lineage has begun to rise within you, heaven wants to reveal something even deeper. God has not only confirmed your identity, He has already been showing you signs throughout your life, signs that pointed to your spiritual royalty long before this moment, signs you felt but could not fully interpret, signs that now come into focus as your spirit awakens. The first sign is the unexplainable weight you have always carried, not a burden of hopelessness, but a weight of responsibility. Even as a child, you felt older inside than your age. You felt aware, you felt sensitive, you felt cautious in ways others were not. Royal souls often carry a quiet seriousness, a natural awareness of consequence, a deep understanding of right and wrong, a sense that your life mattered too much to be wasted. This was the first sign of your identity. The second sign is your isolation. You were never allowed to blend fully. Friendships shifted, circles changed, people left without explanation. You tried to belong, but belonging never lasted. Loneliness followed you in seasons that did not make sense. This isolation was not punishment, it was separation. Heaven sets apart those who carry royal lineage. Solitude protects destiny. Solitude preserves calling. Solitude sharpens discernment. Your loneliness was confirmation that God was keeping you for Himself. The third sign is your sensitivity. Your spirit has always been alert. You feel spiritual tension before it becomes visible. You sense danger without evidence. You feel heaviness in the atmosphere long before others notice. You detect shifts in people that their words cannot hide. Sensitivity is not weakness. Sensitivity is spiritual intelligence. Only royalty is entrusted with the burden of seeing beyond the surface. The fourth sign is the pattern of betrayal in your life. You were betrayed by people you trusted, people you opened your heart to, people you loved deeply. These wounds cut you in places you did not know existed, yet every betrayal revealed a truth. Royal souls attract both honor and envy. You were targeted because your spirit carries worth. Betrayal was not evidence of your failure, it was evidence of your value. Heaven allowed certain people to reveal themselves so that they could not follow you into your next season. The fifth sign is your resilience. You survived storms that shattered others. You rose from losses that should have ended you. You endured pain that would have destroyed anyone without a divine bloodline. Your strength did not come from your personality. It came from your inheritance. Royal lineage carries the ability to rise. It carries the instinct to fight. It carries the fire to survive. Every time you stood up again, your identity was speaking louder than your wounds. The sixth sign is your intuition. You know things without understanding how. You feel truth before you can explain it. You sense alignment and misalignment without needing evidence. This intuition is the prophetic thread in your lineage. It is the spiritual intelligence passed down through generations. It is the inner signal of royalty. God speaks to you in ways that bypass the mind and reach the spirit directly. The seventh sign is your calling to protect others. You were always the one people ran to, the one who listened, the one who comforted, the one who calmed the storm, the one who held others together when they were falling apart. Protection is the responsibility of royalty. Your instinct to shelter others, heal others, guide others is not accidental. It is your lineage showing itself through your heart. These signs were not random experiences. They were revelations. Each sign revealed a layer of your identity. Each sign confirmed who you were becoming. Each sign was a whisper from heaven telling you that your life carried a weight far greater than anything you could comprehend at the time. Chosen one, there is another confirmation that you must understand. Your life has been marked by unusual spiritual sensitivity. You have felt a call toward prayer, even when you did not understand how to pray. You have felt drawn to the presence of God in ways you could not explain. You have felt moments where your spirit seemed to wake up suddenly, as if something inside you recognized a truth that your mind had not yet grasped. This inner awakening is the sign of a bloodline that comes from spiritual royalty. Your spirit remembers what your mind forgot. Your spirit recognizes what your heart longs for. When you hear truth, something inside you stands still. When you sense a shift, something inside you responds. When you feel God speak, something inside you rises. This is the signature of royalty, the recognition of divine language. The ability to feel heaven before it becomes visible. Your spirit responds to truth because your lineage was forged in truth. There is another sign that has followed you your entire life, a feeling of being watched, not by people but by something greater, a sense that heaven tracked your steps, that your life mattered, that you were significant even when no one saw your value. This feeling was not imagination, it was surveillance. Heaven watches those who carry royal lineage. Heaven guards those who carry divine inheritance. Heaven monitors those who carry future mantles. You were never alone, you were never unseen, you were never forgotten, you were always protected. Chosen one, your signs were not scattered pieces, they were a pattern hidden inside your story, a pattern waiting for the moment you were ready to see it. That moment is now. Your life has been proof of your identity. Every wound, every battle, every miracle, every shift, every survival, every insight, all of it confirms the same truth. You are the descendant of a royal bloodline, a bloodline known in heaven, a bloodline feared in darkness, a bloodline filled with purpose. Now your spirit sees what your heart sensed. Now your identity is rising. And now heaven prepares to move you into the next phase of your destiny. Chosen one, now that the signs have been revealed, heaven begins to show you the true weight of your calling. You are not simply a descendant of a royal bloodline. You are the continuation of a spiritual assignment that has moved through generations. Your rise did not begin with you. It began with voices long before you. People who prayed, people who fought, people who survived so that their lineage could carry the purpose God placed in it. You are the one chosen to complete what they started. This is why your life has always felt intense. This is why your choices have carried weight. This is why your spirit has felt pressure to grow, to understand, to rise. You were not being pushed by circumstances. You were being pulled by destiny. The mantle resting on your life carries a history, a cost, a design. Heaven has watched over it for generations. Dark forces have tried to intercept it for generations. But now it rests on you. And heaven has determined that the season of your awakening has begun. Chosen one, there is a shift happening around you. It comes quietly. It comes without announcement. It comes in the stillness of your heart. It comes in the moments when you are alone and your spirit feels something you cannot describe. This shift is the movement of your royal calling. It is aligning you with doors you did not know were being prepared. It is closing pathways that would have taken you out of position. It is guiding your steps even when you feel uncertain. Your calling demands clarity. It demands elevation. It demands separation from the noise of the world. Your lineage cannot function in chaos. It cannot thrive in distraction. It cannot flourish in environments that do not honor your identity. That is why God has been removing people from your life. That is why He has been silencing voices that once influenced you. That is why He has been exposing the true intentions of those around you. He is clearing the path for your assignment. Royal callings require clean atmospheres, pure motives, protected spaces. God is building that space around you now. You may feel this shift as restlessness. You may feel it as a pressure to change. You may feel it as a push to let go. You may feel it as a sudden awareness that something old has ended and something new is beginning. That feeling is not confusion. It is activation. Heaven is repositioning you. Your calling does not rise gently. It rises with force. It rises with intensity. It rises with purpose. It rises with precision. You begin to feel conviction where you once felt tolerance. You begin to see truth where you once saw only shadows. You begin to feel discomfort in the places where you once felt peace. This is your spirit adjusting to the elevation of your identity. The awakening of a royal lineage does not happen quietly. It shakes everything that is not aligned with destiny. Child of God, you are entering a season where you will no longer be able to ignore what you feel. You will no longer be able to run from your calling. You will no longer be able to hide from your assignment. Something in you is rising that refuses to remain small. Something in you is pushing forward that will not remain silent. Something in you is demanding expression, authority, and impact. This is the mantle recognizing its vessel. Royal assignments carry a demand to rise, a demand to move, a demand to become what heaven has written. You are stepping into that demand now. You will notice that your dreams are changing. They carry more detail. They carry more symbols. They carry more urgency. These dreams are not random images. They are instructions. They are warnings. They are confirmations. Heaven speaks to those who carry royal lineage with precision because the cost of misunderstanding is high. Your spirit is being trained in the night while your body rests. Your mind does not always interpret the dreams, but your spirit does. It remembers, it adjusts, it aligns. You will also notice a shift in your voice. Words come to you more clearly. Insight rises without effort. You speak truth that surprises even you. You feel compelled to speak life into others. You feel drawn to comfort, protect, and guide. This is your authority beginning to surface. Royalty speaks with impact. Royalty carries weight in the realm of words. Royalty is entrusted with influence. Your voice has been chosen to carry influence. This is why the enemy tried to silence you earlier in life. He tried to break your confidence. He tried to weaken your identity. He tried to convince you that your voice held no power, but the enemy lied. Your voice carries the authority of your lineage. When you speak, heaven hears. When you speak, darkness trembles. When you speak, chains weaken. This is why your heart has been refined. Pain softened it. Betrayal sharpened it. Loss purified it. Loneliness strengthened it. Each experience prepared your heart to carry the compassion, wisdom, and authority needed for your calling. Royal hearts are not hardened, they are refined. You will also see signs in the natural. Doors begin to open. Opportunities find you. People approach you with unusual respect or unexpected interest. You feel drawn to places you never considered before. These are not coincidences. They are alignments. Heaven is moving pieces around you, placing you in the exact position needed for the next phase of your destiny. Royal callings do not produce confusion. They produce alignment. They produce direction. They produce clarity. You are stepping into a season of divine clarity, a season where decisions become easier because your spirit recognizes the path. Chosen one, the royal bloodline rising within you is not just awakening you, it is calling you, it is shaping you, it is demanding your full attention. You are being lifted into a higher realm of purpose, and this realm requires a new version of you, a version who is aware, a version who is confident, a version who is spiritually mature, a version who understands the cost of destiny. This is your spiritual inheritance. This is your calling unfolding. This is your identity claiming you. You are not rising into royalty, you are remembering it. Chosen one, as your royal calling rises, the atmosphere around you shifts. Heaven moves, darkness reacts. The spiritual realm recognizes your awakening. You must understand this. Royalty does not rise unnoticed. Whenever God elevates a chosen vessel, the enemy attempts to interfere. The battle you feel right now is not confusion, it is confirmation. A throne is being placed before you. A mantle is settling upon your shoulders. And whenever a throne appears, adversaries gather, not because they can take it from you, but because they hope to distract you from stepping into it. This is why the pressure feels heavy. This is why your emotions fluctuate. This is why people behave strangely around you. Your elevation exposes hidden spirits. Your awakening reveals concealed motives. Your presence stirs what lies beneath the surface. This is the war for your throne. Not a physical throne, a spiritual one, the seat of authority assigned to your life, the influence you are called to walk in, the mantle you are destined to carry, and to sit upon that throne, you must walk with discernment. Discernment becomes your crown. Without discernment, royalty becomes vulnerable. Without discernment, influence becomes dangerous. Without discernment, the chosen can be misled. Heaven is sharpening your discernment because your next season requires clarity. Chosen one, you will begin to see people for who they truly are. Masks will fall, pretenses will crumble, words will lose their power to deceive. You will look at a person and feel their truth before they speak. You will sense their intention before they make a move. You will know when a heart is pure. You will know when a motive is corrupt. This is not judgment, it is protection. Discernment guards the throne. There are people who cannot walk with you into your next season, not because they are evil, but because they are not aligned. They cannot understand your calling. They cannot support your assignment. They cannot handle your elevation. Their presence near your throne would create instability, so heaven separates them now. Pay attention to the distance forming between you and certain individuals. Pay attention to the conversations that no longer resonate. Pay attention to the friendships that feel heavy. Pay attention to the invitations that do not sit right in your spirit. These are signs. Heaven is sifting your circle. Division is not always warfare. Sometimes it is alignment. Your discernment is becoming sharper because your assignment is becoming greater. You are entering a season where you cannot afford to move blindly. Your steps must be intentional. Your choices must be wise. Your atmosphere must be clean. You must guard your mind. You must protect your spirit. You must preserve your peace. Royalty must be protected. This is why God is teaching you to recognize enemies who appear as helpers. Not every hand extended to you is a hand you should take. Not every voice that praises you is sincere. Not every opportunity is divine. Not every open door leads to destiny. Discernment will show you the difference. There are 3 types of enemies that come against royal lineage. The first is the silent watcher. This person does not harm you openly. They observe, they study, they listen. Their goal is not to destroy you directly, but to understand what makes you powerful. They hope to use your strengths for their advantage. Discernment reveals them. The second is the disguised encourager. They appear supportive. They speak well of you in public. They celebrate your victories, but inside they envy your calling. They fear your rise. They resist your progress quietly. Discernment exposes their heart. The third is the spiritual adversary, a force, not a person. This enemy tries to attack your mind. It sends confusion. It whispers fear. It stirs doubt. It pushes isolation. It tries to separate you from your identity. This is the enemy that fears your royal awakening the most. Discernment defeats its influence. Chosen one, you will feel spiritual pressure in this season, but do not fear it. Pressure reveals growth. Pressure confirms elevation. Pressure announces transition. The throne you are rising into demands a level of spiritual intelligence that pressure produces. You will begin to notice patterns in your life, patterns the enemy used to delay you, patterns that kept you in cycles, patterns that weakened your confidence. You will now see these patterns clearly. You will break them with authority. The chains that held you for years will begin to loosen. They will fall with each step you take toward your royal position. Identity breaks chains, clarity breaks cycles, discernment breaks deception. As the war intensifies, your peace will grow. Royalty walks with unshaken peace, not because life is easy, but because authority brings stability. You will notice that things which once overwhelmed you no longer shake you. Your spirit is becoming anchored. You feel grounded, steady, aware. This is the posture of royalty. And now heaven prepares to give you a deeper understanding of your assignment. Your throne is not for decoration, it is for purpose. You were not chosen to exist quietly, you were chosen to influence, to lead, to speak, to shift atmospheres, to carry light into darkness, to stand in places where others fall, to rise where others retreat, to bring clarity where confusion has ruled. Your throne is the platform for your purpose. Child of God, your next season will require a level of spiritual maturity that you are now developing. You must learn to stand alone when needed. You must learn to walk forward when others hesitate. You must learn to hold your ground when the enemy pushes. You must learn to trust your spirit when your mind has questions. Discernment will be the tool that guides you. Royal lineage requires boundaries. You cannot allow everyone access to you. You cannot give your energy freely. You cannot entertain every invitation. You must guard the royal anointing placed upon your life. Your presence carries weight. Your voice carries authority. Your spirit carries memory. Your journey carries purpose. This is why the war for your throne is real. This is why discernment is rising inside you. This is why heaven is educating your spirit in silence. You are being prepared for a level of influence that requires understanding. You are being shaped for a destiny that requires maturity. You are being refined for a position that requires clarity. The enemy fought your throne, but heaven preserved it for you. Chosen one, your throne is waiting, and you are almost ready to take your seat. Chosen one, the time has come for the final unveiling. You have walked through battle, through isolation, through awakening, through revelation, and through the sharpening of discernment. All of these were not scattered events. They were steps, carefully calculated steps, steps that heaven arranged to lead you to this very moment. What you are about to hear is not a prediction, it is a confirmation. God has already spoken it over your life. Your spirit has already felt it. Your journey has already revealed it. You are not simply a descendant of a royal bloodline. You are the appointed heir of a royal assignment. There is a difference. Many are born into a lineage, but only a few are chosen to continue it. Many carry the bloodline, but only a few carry the mantle. Many are connected by ancestry, but only a few are entrusted with destiny. You are one of the few. Your entire life has been shaped to prepare you for what is coming next. You felt the pressure because the mantle required strength. You walked through loneliness because the throne required clarity. You endured battles because the crown required endurance. The preparation was not cruelty, it was necessity. Royal assignments cannot rest on unprepared shoulders. And now the preparation has ripened. Heaven has observed your growth. Heaven has watched your resilience. Heaven has witnessed your heart, your tears, your endurance, your transformation. The throne prepared for your lineage now stands before you, not a throne of human authority, a throne of spiritual influence, a throne of divine purpose, a throne of heavenly responsibility. The enemy feared this moment because he understood its magnitude. He understood that once you awakened to your true identity, his access to your life would collapse. His influence over your mind would break. His whispers would lose power. His strategies would lose effectiveness. This is why he fought your awakening so fiercely, but he failed. Your spirit is awake now. And once royalty awakens, darkness loses authority. Chosen one, heaven reveals that you are stepping into a season of manifestation, not just spiritual awareness. Manifestation. The things spoken over your lineage will now begin to unfold in your life. The promises held for generations will find their completion through you. The mantle carried by those before you will rest fully on you now. This will not be a subtle transition. It will be a shift that your spirit recognizes instantly, a shift that affects your atmosphere, a shift that redirects your path, a shift that opens doors you thought were closed forever, a shift that brings clarity to questions you carried for years, a shift that aligns your life with your destiny in ways you never imagined. This is the rise of royalty. You will begin to walk differently. Your steps will carry purpose. Your voice will carry weight. Your presence will carry authority. You will find yourself speaking with confidence you once lacked. You will notice that people respond to you with a respect they cannot explain. You will attract opportunities that align with your assignment. You will feel heaven pushing you forward, guiding your movements, shaping your decisions. It will feel as though an unseen hand is arranging your steps. Because it is. Heaven is positioning you. Heaven is elevating you. Heaven is establishing you. But with elevation comes responsibility. Royalty does not rise only for its own sake. Royalty rises to fulfill purpose. The throne you are being placed upon is not for self-importance. It is for impact. Your life will touch others. Your words will heal. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your discernment will protect. Your resilience will inspire. Your authority will break chains. Your compassion will lift those who struggle. This is the calling of a royal heir. There will be moments when the weight feels heavy, moments when the responsibility feels overwhelming, moments when you feel unqualified or unsure. When those moments come, remember this truth. You were chosen because you were crafted for this. You were appointed because heaven trusted you. You carry strength from generations before you. You carry wisdom that did not originate in your mind. You carry authority rooted in the throne of God. You are not rising alone. You carry the support of an entire spiritual lineage. Heaven also gives you this warning. Be aware of those who attempt to cling to you out of convenience. Elevation attracts both allies and imposters. Some will approach because they see your light. Others will approach because they want your throne. You must guard your spirit. You must guard your peace. You must guard your purpose. Not everyone deserves access to your life. Not everyone qualifies to stand near your calling. Discernment must remain your shield. Do not be afraid to walk alone when needed. Do not be afraid to release people who cannot carry the weight of your assignment. Do not be afraid to choose obedience over comfort. Royalty is not shaped by popularity. Royalty is shaped by purpose. Your rise will require courage. Courage to trust God. Courage to move forward. Courage to accept your identity. Courage to embrace your calling even when it feels larger than you. But you will rise because heaven has commanded it. Chosen one, the final prophetic message is this. You are the true descendant of a royal bloodline, a lineage crafted by God, a lineage strengthened through generations, a lineage marked with purpose. You are not stepping into destiny. Destiny is stepping into you. You are not seeking your throne. Your throne is finding you. You are not trying to become chosen. You were chosen before your first breath. You are the fulfillment of promises made long before you existed. You are the answer to prayers prayed by those who came before you. You are the vessel heaven has appointed for such a time as this. The rise of royalty begins now. Walk with authority, walk with clarity, walk with discernment, walk with the understanding that you carry a legacy that heaven itself honors. You are the heir, you are the chosen, You are the continuation of a divine lineage. And now, child of God, receive this final blessing. May the light of God crown your spirit. May the wisdom of heaven guide your steps. May the strength of your lineage anchor your soul. May the favor of your calling surround you. May the authority of your identity sustain you. Go forth with courage. Your throne awaits you.